Welcome to the Global Businesswomen's Pod, brought to you by the Greater Houston Women's Chamber of Commerce. I am Susan Dyson and proud to be the CEO, President, and founder of the Chamber. Please join us for this empowering podcast every Thursday at 6 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our AI panel to the stage. Chief Modeling Data Optimization and Data Science, ExxonMobil, Xiaojun Huang. Vice President, Associate Chief Information Officer, Texas Children's Hospital, Teresa Tonthat. Senior Director, Strategy Portfolio Management for Enterprise Analytics and Data Management, Waste Management, Rebecca McMorris. And Senior Manager, Advisory, Energy and Resources, Deloitte Consulting LLP, and our AI panel moderator, Kate Shuri.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, almost afternoon, I guess. I'm Kate Shuri. I work in the commodity trading and risk management space with a lot of our energy clients here in Houston. So I am super excited to moderate this panel because we've got such a great breadth of experience and point of view here. One of the exciting things that my client has done recently was we utilized AI in some trading strategies and how we were able to impact the client on their P&L there. So really topical area right now. So really excited to hear what we've got from unlocking the advantage of AI. So let's give everyone a chance to introduce themselves and then we'll get started.
Hi. Good morning, everyone. I'm Rebecca McMorris. I'm the Senior Director of Strategy and Planning for our WM Digital organization. Our organization essentially oversees the delivery and support of all of the digital technology solutions that WM uses across the corporation.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. My name is Teresa Tonthat, and I'm the Vice President and Associate CIO for Texas Children's Hospital here in the Great Texas Medical Center. Our organization is responsible for ensuring that we provide highly available, reliable, and secure digital experience for everyone, every children, and every woman that we serve across the community. And we're not just here in Houston, we're in Texas, and we serve 70 global countries around the world. And I'm very proud to be working for the largest pediatric and women's hospital in the nation.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Xiaojun Huang. I'm the Chief Engineer for Modeling Optimization and Data Science. What that is at ExxonMobil, what that is we enable our business to make better and faster decisions with technologies like AI, machine learning, optimization, decision science technologies. We support both the upstream, the downstream, as well as the low carbon solution and the corporate functions, including supply chain, trading, and operations.
Great, thank you. So as I said, we've got a great variety up here, so looking forward to a good conversation. So we'll kick it off with kind of a little bit of a rapid fire question across the panel, but to start it off, what do you use AI for the most in your personal life, as well? How do you utilize it to make you work smarter, faster, better?
Well, I will start. I don't use social media, so I don't have that as my rapid fire answer. However, I do watch a lot of television, and so I will say my Netflix queue is driven by their AI machine learning engine, and so I benefit greatly from that on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, so I actually use ChatGPT to actually plan for my trips to go to a new city. Like going to Paris or going to Spain, you can ask a ChatGPT, like, I'll be there for 3 days. I'm interested in the culture and the food. Give me a 3-day itinerary, and I'll use that as a starting point.
Well, I don't know how much time I have, but I actually really appreciate how AI has been a life changer, especially at least in my household, in our personal life. I mean, it starts from when you wake up and you check your phone and you have facial recognition to open your cell phone, right? AI is used extensively to help me categorize my personal email account so I know what to look at versus not. And I don't know about you all, but I can't go anywhere without Google Maps. And Google Maps uses AI modeling, machine learning to make sure they take you to the right routes in the fastest way and the safest way. So the list goes on with how AI has really impacted me on my personal life. And yes, I have leveraged ChatGPT to help me curate specific emails, but I don't put any sensitive information to ChatGPT for now.
Perfect.
Just had to throw that in there.
Okay, next up, what is something about AI that makes you excited for the future, whether for organizations or life in general? Rebecca, I know you had some thoughts on how AI might be used within our justice system. Would you like to share on that?
I would, and this stems from a passion for true crime. So I don't know if there's any true crime fans out there beyond myself, but for me, when I think about the application of the technology just in a social context, I've been a supporter of the criminal justice reform for several years now, and I think AI has the potential to truly transform how we go about processing our criminal justice system cases. However, we have to do it in the right way. And I think the possibilities there for improved speed, effectiveness, and fairness are ripe. However, I think we have to apply that along with the appropriate guardrails and regulations to ensure that there is not amplification of bias in the system, that we maintain the authenticity of evidence. But again, I think there's such a potential to utilize this technology to improve the system in the future.
Xiaojun, Teresa, what about you?
So the one thing I'm really excited about is the possibility to use the AI to have personalized education. And I have been involving with the STEM, like education for the K-12. And I do recognize at, different age group and, different interest, people may actually have very different pathway to really learn STEM. So that's the one angle I'm very interested. It's not just limited to STEM, but it's really democratize education and make it a whole lot more effective to individuals who seek knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, I know later we're going to talk about how AI, the possibilities for our industries, especially mine healthcare. I'm very excited about that. But outside of healthcare, I've just been doing a lot of reading on how AI can really help improve the efficacy of our military units. Right? I have close friends that serve in the Marine Corps and their infantry frontline, and I just think that there's so much possibilities of leveraging AI-based technology to help, one, improve the national security, but then also the efficacy of the combats and weaponry. I think there's endless possibilities, but to Rebecca's point is to be responsible and to not have biases in those models. So I think that's an area that where I'm definitely going to look into as well and follow.
It's a great segue because we're going to transition into talking about AI in your respective industries. And Teresa, I wanted to chat with you first. Texas Children's Hospital, obviously incredibly well known for research, patient care, availability. How is AI enhancing patient care and diagnostics in your hospital? And then the follow-on is, what have you learned as part of that journey, and how do you ensure the patient's data security and privacy?
No, I really appreciate that question because I wear two hats, right? The IT hat as well as the privacy and cybersecurity perspective. I mean, I guess before I jump into how AI is being used right now for clinical decision support, I think it's important for the group to know, and these are some facts that I recently found out too, is that the IDC research has mentioned that over 30% of the data around the world is generated by healthcare institutions. 30%, right? And typically, the average amount of data that's being generated by a large hospital system, such as Texas Children's, is around 50 petabytes of data. And most of us were like, well, how much data is that really? So if you think about going to the library and you check out a book, a regular book is about 1 megabyte of electronic data. So that equates to around 50 billion books that healthcare systems generate on a year-to-year basis, and it continues to grow, right? But the fascinating statistic is that only 3% of that data right now is being leveraged for insights and information so that leadership and executives and clinical caregivers can make a decision. So I say all that is because at Texas Children's, we have some work to do. We're very excited about leveraging the most modern AI, and we like to call that augmented intelligence, not necessarily artificial intelligence. But AI has been around since the 80s, if not before that, right? And it starts from task automation, process automation, to now what we're calling human augmentation. And we've been doing chatbot, robotics processing for years, and even predictive analytics with machine learning. But I think the bottom line that we need to be very thoughtful about is anyone can create the technologies and the models to help improve, in my case, patient outcomes. But it's 3 pillars. It's people, process, and technology. And what we've learned over the few years as we are developing these predictive analytic models is that it will not be successful unless we have all 3 aspects in place. The right technology, the right people at the table to help define what those models may look like and what clinical interventions are going to happen based on the outcomes of those models. And then from a governance standpoint, right, how do we prioritize the models? How do we make sure the quality, the data that we serve, the models are of good quality, and then there's no biases in that information? I'll just give one example. We did a predictive readmissions model a few years ago, and I am happy to share that we had those 3 pillars in place. We had the right caregivers, nurses, care coordination team, and it's very successful. And the key about the model is you need to continue to fine-tune that model with those users and those caregivers. So we went from 2 years ago to about a 50% accuracy to just 2 weeks ago, 86% accuracy. But the key is not just the output, right? You have to have that human intervention to review the data and then eventually make that decision, especially in healthcare. That's why we call it augmentation. It's not just the bot and just the models making the decision, because at the end of the day, it's our children and women's life on the line.
Yeah, that's a really great point and nice to share with the audience, especially understanding that, if we have the correct guardrails in place, AI can be very impactful. Xiaojun, let's move to you. So ExxonMobil is one of the largest and most influential energy companies serving various industries and markets. I suspect y'all have been on this journey for a while. Can you share how you're using the technology enabler and the learnings you've experienced, especially around educational approach you and your teams have taken to edify the organization with AI? Great.
So really, I want to echo what Teresa said. For any AI program, it's the combination of technology, process, and people. And for us, as we're going through the energy transition, as well as trying to continue to deliver the affordable energy to the globe. There's a very important for us is to get a lot more efficient, like with our operations and we have set the target for net zero for a lot of our operations. So we're actually trying to get there. So at the same time, the technology needs to be accelerated to be able to actually go through the energy transition. So those are the kind of key objectives that we focus to use the AI to really augment. I also wanted to really double down on this is not a replacement of a human work. This is a really augment. So we really believe a human plus AI is actually the case to be. And given that, we find, as we actually get onto the AI journey, as we actually start to deliver values to, like today, we can make a lot better the throughput of our production. We can actually allocate our $1 billion development, a whole lot more efficient. And we can also optimize our supply chain. I think a lot of you perhaps experience after the COVID hit and global supply chain, how you can actually make it more resilient and more flexible, at the same time deliver globally to your customers. Those are also part of what we're trying to do. But in order to actually do that at scale, on top of what Teresa actually mentioned, you need to have the guardrails, make sure the data that you organize are very well governed, that get into the model, and also these models are very well governed. And as some of the model, you need to go through the retraining. On top of that, what we find is very important is to help train and scale up our employees so that we can actually have much more educated employee to use and be augmented with the AI tool at their fingertip. And on top of that, when you have a better trained employee, they can actually push the innovation envelope a whole lot better. So what we do is we actually, for my group, we curate the kind of online, like AI education materials, and we send and offer it to the entire corporate. And we also provide, like office hours, teaching, and a capstone project. If people wanted to actually, now I learned I want to do something and solve my particular problem, we actually provide venues to do that.
That's fantastic. Rebecca, last but not least. WM is a leader in providing sustainable waste management and recycling services. As you've taken on this role, what are the strategic goals for furthering AI into the company and being a pace setter for your industry?
Well, I think the first question is, does anybody have any idea what we would use AI for as a trash company? I think that was my first reaction when I went to work for WM a year and a half ago. It's an interesting industry, and it's not probably an industry that is top of mind, and certainly not top of mind when it comes to AI. However, in our company's goals, we are extremely passionate and committed to sustainability. And part of our sustainability goals is around recoverability of materials. So essentially what that means is, how do we divert more materials out of the landfill into other circular streams? So that starts at the curbside. And that starts with us. Each one of us are consumers, and the EPA currently estimates that on a daily basis, we each generate 5 pounds of trash. And that trash isn't all trash. It's recyclables, it's paper, cardboard, glass, et cetera. So part of our challenge was, how do we change consumer behavior? And can we leverage technology to help us with that? And interestingly enough, we, over the last several years, have implemented a technology. It's publicly talked about. There's several articles on it if you're interested, but it's our smart truck technology. And this particular technology leverages imagery that we're able to capture at the curbside. We can then go and do image analysis on those images in order to identify contamination, overage, et cetera. And then we're able to provide our customers email information with the images and some educational materials about what goes in and should not go in your recycling containers. And this is just one way in which we've been able to leverage technology to achieve or at least make headway with some of our sustainability goals. We've been able to see a 20% reduction in contamination in the pilot, and we continue to see a similar rate of reduction as we scale it out. And I think the important thing to note here is we had an ambition, we had a business objective we were seeking to attain, and our goal was to look at how could we use technology to support that. We did not start with, we wanted to use AI and what's an interesting place we could go try something out. And I think that's the most important thing when you're looking strategically about how do I apply AI to my business. Look at what are you trying to achieve from a business standpoint, and then start to understand where technology may play a role. And I think that's going to get you farther faster than just starting with the tech and trying to find a fit.
It's great. And a perfect segue to kind of our next round of questions. So I know we're tight on time, but wanted to throw this last one out to the group. What advice would you have for someone who's trying to make smarter, better, faster decisions and wants to incorporate AI, but doesn't know where to start? What's the best jumping off point?
So I would echo, you actually sit back to look at what is the business KPI you're trying to improve. And you look at that and look at from an AI perspective, how you can augment that. You map out your process and do not take too big of a bite. You start small and but you want to start and do it very fast. You iterate and you work out the technology, the people, the processes, and you also engage with the particular business, like a unit that really need to own the outcome and deliver the KPI.
I think you said it perfectly. It's really being proactive with your business and clinical stakeholders and ask them their problem statement. You won't imagine how many times I would get an email saying, "Hey, Teresa, I want to use ChatGPT." Well, what do you want to use it for? How do you know that's going to address your business problems, right? Because a lot of times it may be an automated dashboard, or it could be machine learning or other type of technologies in our portfolio. To add to that, I think is just you go slow in the beginning so that you can go fast later. I didn't touch upon this earlier, but data persistence, data leakage, right? Data custody are big compliance and privacy issues when we start ingesting millions and billions of records of information just to get an outcome of a model. So just be thoughtful and work closely with your legal and compliance teams. And from a healthcare perspective, you need to work with your quality team, quality and safety, because at the end of the day, models are really to help patient care. So we need to keep that in the center of everything that we do.
Well, I know we're over time, but thank you, ladies, for all joining us. I think it's been a really great perspective from all three of your industries, and thank you for hosting the panel.
Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you again next Thursday at 6 p.m. For more information about the Chamber and our podcast, please visit us at ghwcc.org.